Yo, what's going on, you guys? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, bringing you another update on Transformers Reactivate. And every time I say that, I roll my eyes, and I'm pretty sure you guys do as well, because if you've been following this game, then you know it's been pretty dry in regards to actual news from the officials, and I have been doing my best to keep you guys updated in any way that I can. As you guys are aware, it's been a very one-sided affair with the content creators that give you guys this news as opposed to the people developing the game. But something has changed, and it's been this weird kind of thing that occurred over the past couple of days, and I want to talk about that. But before we do that, I want to ask you guys to do me the biggest favor and like this video. Yeah, I know it's annoying getting that request at the very beginning of the video before you've watched it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm going to bring you that awesome content, then by all means smash that like button. But if you just so happen to be a new viewer who's never seen my video before and you feel like this one was a waste of your time, then by all means take that like back and give it a dislike. Just rate the video. But as I was saying, guys, it's pretty much become a same song and dance scenario with these updates where I come back every now and then to provide certain details that you may or may not know about, and with each new upload that I give you guys, you may notice that my enthusiasm continues to decrease. It seems like just yesterday I was hopefully optimistic of the future for Transformers Reactivate, especially when news was starting to trickle out from leaks and clips of this game. It showcased so many cool things that I was hoping that a Transformers title would have, such as an ambitious story, beautiful graphics, as well as gameplay that looks similar to that of War 4 and Fall of Cybertron. And admittedly, it sounded like I was speaking through an echo chamber because we hadn't heard anything from the officials on if this thing was even going to be coming or not. So it felt like I was climbing up a steep hill, but I knew that once I got to the top of that mountain that we would eventually get something, and we ultimately did in the form of toys as well as a cinematic trailer at the Game Awards 2022. And usually after you get that confirmation that a game is indeed coming, that's when things really start to pick up. But for whatever reason, that momentum came to a screeching halt, and we barely got any follow-ups from the developers or Hasbro. The only thing that we did get was a minor update from the Transformers Reactivate Twitter handle where they said that they didn't necessarily have anything for us because they were too busy transferring the game over to Unreal Engine 5, and they would only have something for us the following year, which is 2024, and we're now at the end of 2024, mind you, and we have yet to receive anything. It's essentially been up to the content creators to scrape the bowl of leaks and give you guys something to give you a general idea of how the game is going to be, even if those leaks come from pre-existing builds of the game that wasn't even developed by the team that we have developing it now. Since we haven't gotten any videos or details on what the current game is going to consist of, it's kind of been up to us to pick apart these different leaks to see what's going to be retained and what's going to be thrown away. And just a couple days ago, we saw the saga of leaks continue when we got new leaked gameplay featuring Bumblebee, which is arguably the most gameplay we've seen in any of the clips we've gotten prior to that. And I just want to point out that this right here is an early pre-alpha build of the game going all the way back as to 2020, so it's not very indicative of what we'll be seeing in the final product. Keep that in mind. I just honestly feel like this is the best that we can get right now because, like I said, Splash Damage and Hasbro, they're being very tight-lipped on what they can and can't show, and we still don't know if the game is still being developed yet. But as you can see, this game looks very presentable, and I would go so far as to say that if we got this, I would have been totally satisfied with it because it just gives you everything that you've been asking for. We wanted it to have decent visuals as well as feel like we were playing the War 4 and Fall of Cybertron games, and it looks like it has a dash of what we liked about Transformers Devastation, which has that very high-octane and fast and frenetic action. Like the way B is able to transform in and out of his alt mode is very fluid. You even have a variety of melee attacks as opposed to the War 4 and Fall of Cybertron games where you just had that one melee attack that just whomps the enemy. But no, in this game you actually have a light and heavy melee attack that you can use with a specific weapon, and it looks like we're going to have a wide range of weapons, which we had kind of seen in those leaks where we saw all the different variety and choices that you had in terms of melee weapons as well as blasters. It seems like they're going going back for the traditional handheld blasters as opposed to integrated blasters like we've seen in the movies and the Fall of Cybertron games. And you're apparently going to be able to hold up to 2 different types of blasters at once, where each one has a cooldown time, and once that weapon needs to cool down, you can switch over to the other one until it's completely cooled down and you can use it again. Like, I know that there's that camp that tells all the hopeful fans of this game to just let it die already because it'll never see the light of day, but when you see these clips surface online, it's kind of hard to just give up the faith, man, because it just makes you want to get your hands on it, and it actually makes you want to rally up a group of people and petition to get this game to come out. You just see that potential, and if this game already looked good on UE4 and they were planning on transferring it over to UE5, just imagine how much better it's going to look on next gen hardware. But besides that leaked gameplay, we also got a cutscene of Bumblebee talking about the state of Transformers and humanity, and how he's dealing with having to ally himself with the Decepticons. While it was nothing more than still images provided with a narration of Bumblebee, it still managed to give off that sense of urgency in the overall tone that we got in the cinematic trailer. No matter how many times this game seems like it fell off the face of the earth, there's always going to be those dedicated fans that leaks something that makes us want to get back invested. But this time we did get something from the actual officials to update us on this particular project, and it wasn't in the way that you thought. We didn't necessarily get an update in regards to what we could expect from the game. We got an update in the form of an alleged glitch, and I say alleged because I feel like there's more to this. Yes, about 24 hours ago, the official Instagram handle for Transformers Reactivate suddenly deleted all of its content pertaining to pictures and videos, leaving many to assume that Hasbro and Splash Damage were officially pulling the plug. Given the fact that they had been radio silent on the project, it's not that hard to believe that this was in fact the case. However, it didn't take long for a representative over at Splash Damage to clarify that this was a bug made on Instagram's end, and that they would be working around the clock to get the page back up and running. So yeah, this isn't necessarily how I wanted to get an update, but I feel like this is a strong confirmation that the game is still in fact being worked on. I also feel like this quote-unquote bug was done deliberately by the people at Splash Damage to test to see if there are any people still interested in this project, because like I said, it's been going on 3 years now since we got any official updates, not to mention that there's that group of individuals that just wants to move on to something else, whether it be a new Transformers video game title or a remastered HD collection for Transformers War 4 and Fall of Cybertron, which have been rumored to be an actual thing, but I also feel like this game is going to be coming. I feel like Reactivate is still in that development oven, and the developers are hard at work to cook up something awesome for us. I also want to remind you guys about the new plan for Hasbro, because as you are aware, they announced that they're no longer going to be financing movies anymore. They're only going to be focusing on entertainment in regards to digital distribution as well as video games. For the longest time, they were co-financing all the Transformers movies, which were very successful, especially when Michael Bay was just getting started, but as the years have gone on, people have lost interest, and the box office returns reflects that. Some movies were actually good and didn't deserve the huge drop-off in box office earnings, like Bumblebee and the recent Transformers 1. It was reported earlier this year that they had lost over $1 billion in the fourth quarter of 2023, resulting in thousands of layoffs for the company, so they actually have to go back to the drawing board, which has pushed them to actually delve more into the video game market. And unbeknownst to some of you guys, the CEO of Hasbro, Chris Cox, just so happens to be a former employee of Microsoft, which is most likely why we're going to see a lot of those Activision licensed Transformers video games make a return in the near future, because Microsoft currently owns Activision. And back in July, Hasbro announced that they appointed 2 new leadership positions for a former COO of Bungie, as well as a chief people officer who had previously been the senior vice president and general manager of Warcraft, which is a Blizzard property. So the writing is pretty much on the wall at this point. I feel like there's going to be this huge ripple effect where we're going to start seeing more competent Transformers video game titles be released, with Transformers Reactivate leading the charge in that new regime. I honestly feel like they just need to drop something to get the fans back hyped again, because all the stuff that we've seen in the form of leaks have shown that potential, like I said earlier. But I guess we're just going to have to play the waiting game and see what they decide to do. But anyways guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video because I had a blast making it. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing is caring. But this is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.